and I didn't really have like anything like really put together, but voice inside me is like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no big deal.
Someone give me oxygen, a gin and tonic as well. Don't tell me wait till 10. Matter of time, I love myself again. But I'm not seeking love of self. I'm seeking a love that is selfless, willingness of giving value, not necessarily what love is. I mean, the type of giving to check in on my wellness, or at the very least, notice when I start to fail. It's the bells. There was a boy who couldn't have belonging for his true home with appreciation, sense of belonging, but it never came easy. He always felt that he was wrong and didn't have nowhere else to turn, so he opened up his book of song, and music can give you a hug, but it'll listen to you. It's never bothered if you're bugging or you're talking, cause it's missing you. Waiting on you to reminisce or tell a story about love at that time you got pissed. That's why the pencil and paper are my best friend. No matter how long it's been, you can.
My name is Kechi Henderson. I'm 21, turning 22, and I attend Northwestern University.
I mean, I started singing like since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and then I started like learning the piano when I was like 4th grade. Like even before I started writing music, I would just journal, and I would always I would always find it easier just to like let my pen like write out like slowly and like gradually like build upon like whatever it is I'm thinking in my head I can't really speak out. I write longhand all of my songs, so I have like notebooks that like I write in each lyric. I'll like scribble some stuff out and just like flip through the pages, try to, because I feel like I'm more focused, I'm more in tune with a song, like when it's like physically written out.
The summer after my sophomore year was when I decided that like I wanted to really like pursue music, because I had started writing songs at the beginning of my sophomore year, and I don't know, that summer like I just had like sort of like an awakening like on all sorts of levels, just like spiritually, like in terms of my identity and like where I stood in the world, and then I just started writing music every day. Like literally, like I was just like me, like I just locked myself in my room, like with my beat up like song notebook, writing songs. I also started working on my production skills. So like I downloaded Logic and like tried to like produce a beat, any sort of beat, whether it was like trash or like something that I actually work with. I just started like pursuing it every day, like holding my craft. And like that summer, just with like everything going on, like I told myself that I need to do this. Like this is where like I need to be.
It always starts someplace different when I'm like creating my music. I like feel whether or not it's like, oh, this is something I want to sing, or just something that I want to like state, like with the words itself. And then like along the line, I'll just sort of like shape that based off of the message that I want to portray.
Northwestern is one of the top academic institutions in the nation. There are like certain paths and like certain like ideas of like what the music school like has for the students. And like for me, I have like this totally other idea of like what I want to do with my music, the type of music that I want to do, and it always seems to like clash into each other.
You see a lot of people like playing the stuff that they're fed to them, singing the stuff that that's fed to them, and I've always like looked at that with a critical eye. The way that I think that like music like should be used, it's just not always encouraged in the space of being in. Like trying to actually make a connection with the music that I'm given, so I can make it somewhat of my own, and it's very hard to do that sometimes. So that's why I'll just like run away to like my room, write my songs and stuff, and I'll never be fully comfortable like sharing like my music and my means of expression like in that space. I guess I would dream, like if I would say like what I dream of my music beyond college is just to like have a bigger platform to share it with other musicians and other audience members, and use it to speak on something that I think is important. I feel like a lot of artists don't really get that opportunity, like outside of like I guess like a brave space like the university. and it's a very scary place to be in out in the world, trying to use your music to create some sort of change. But that's something that I feel like I can do. The pinnacle moment was like my first like official like live set on campus, which was like a basement show with other like R&B, hip hop like artists.
And it was really eye-opening because I was like really nervous up to the point, but like, you know, there was a great turnout, a lot of my friends came out, and I had a lot of fun. And like, I felt, you know, it was almost like a magical moment, you know, like once I like hopped on the mic and like had my friend, you know, playing the instrumental. And
at that point, I realized that that's what I like really like wanted to do and keep doing. A mental health song. It's more just like my experience, like, you know, with me navigating, like, you know, my loneliness, like my like just like ways that I try to cope with like not really like belonging in certain spaces and still like wanting someone to like, I don't know, acknowledge my presence at the same time, you know. So just like, yeah, thinking about like what I'm dealing with and like putting that in a song and seeing how like you could like sort of like wrap it up into like this like idea, because I feel like a lot of like personal experiences like people can relate as long as you present it like a certain way.
Dot Wave, like they've played like a huge part in just like me trying to pursue my artistry. Just the general support of the members of Wave, and like how they're always like asking me like what I'm up to, like offering me, you know, support that I could use in terms of like, you know, like any performances I'm up for or just like help on the music that I'm working on. Biggest realization, like for me, is just that whatever like I'm feeling, like whatever mood I'm in at the moment is gonna show up on the paper. Like, and the advice I should give is like you should never force anything. Like if you're feeling a certain type of way, like if you're feeling like, you know, if you're feeling in a mood that's gonna like create this like smooth R&B style, then like go for that at the moment. If it's gonna be a little more like, you know, upbeat tempo, a little bit more on the jazzy side, hip hop, go for that. Don't feel like you need to constrain yourself in terms of the style of music that you go for, whether it's songwriting or production. Just like let your heart tell you like what to write.